Hello and welcome back to the Shifting Forecast. I'm your host, Paul, 42 years young. As you can tell, this is the second episode, so one down. I'm hoping to get another one down. I'm sure I know I will. So, to help me with this, I'm currently speaking into a Samsung Q2U mic, which I picked up off Amazon, and running the audio through Adobe Podcasts, making sure I don't sound like I'm recording inside a wardrobe. Trying to take this seriously and moving forward with this. I have to be transparent with you. Feeling nervous, there's something about the red record light that makes me feel about five again, standing in front of a school assembly. And to get me through these last few minutes, I've been using a technique called triangle breathing, where I breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and out for 4 seconds. And so far, it's the only way to tell my nervous system that the microphone isn't that scary. And a heavy dose of positive thinking and telling myself you're doing it is actually doing it. The reason that I'm even in this chair and doing this is thanks to a book, as I touched on in the first episode, a book by Rob Moore called Start Now and Get Perfect Later. Where, if you're like me, a bit of perfectionist and rather have be ready to go with some sort of plan, the books pretty much help me go through a bit of a nightmare and just tell me to actually just start and get perfect along the way. Rob's whole ethos is about breaking the paralysis of analysis. I actually took this advice literally and messaged him through Facebook, where I didn't expect a handwritten letter back, obviously, but getting a reply saying keep smashing it. Well, of course, it could have been a bot, a virtual assistant. Either way, it was a bounce back, which was enough for me to get this started. It doesn't matter. That little notification, that version one of a connection was enough to push me forward, and it proved that he's built a system that functions. It felt like a nod from the universe saying, stop thinking about it and just hit record, as he basically put this in his book, where if you don't start, you've already failed. If you start, you're already ahead of everyone who hasn't. So, here's the Start Now update. Whilst I was setting up things for this Shifting Forecast podcast, just to track my life and this learning process, I realized I've got another itch I want to scratch. Where I've always enjoyed the podcast lore, its atmospheric, deeply researched style of storytelling that uncovers the weird and the wonderful around us. So, I've decided to double down. Along with this podcast, I'm launching a second show called The Evening Fog. While the Shifting Forecast will be where I we talk. So, I've decided to double down alongside this podcast and launch a second show called The Evening Fog. While the Shifting Forecast will be where we talk about the how, the gear, the habits, and the midlife pivots, the Evening Fog will be the what. It'll be the place where I share those research stories, the strange history and local legends I've spent years reading about. Two podcasts, one bloke, one Samson mic. Sounds a bit mad, but if I'm going to just do it, I may as well just do it. Now, to manage two podcasts without losing my mind, I need a system. So, where Rob Moore got me to start, I need James Clear to help me continue. So, I've started listening to James Clear's Atomic Habits on Audible. Being frugal, I'm using the one free audiobook a month, and so I'm listening it into my spare time. Where getting it for free, there's no shame in the game. Clear talks about the power of 1% improvements. Recording this episode today is my 1% improvement. Learning how to edit for the evening fog will be my next 1%. I'm not trying to be a media mogul by Friday. I'm just trying to make sure that the habit of sitting at this desk becomes as automatic as putting the kettle on. So, if you're listening to this and you've got a project or maybe even two that you've been sitting on for some time, take this as your sign. You don't need to spend lots of money. You don't need to be fearless, you just need to breathe. I'm still nervous, I'm still worried I'll run out of things to say, but I'm also 42 and I've realized that the perfect time is a myth we tell ourselves so we don't have the risk of failing. I'd rather fail with a Samsung Q2U in my hand than succeed at doing nothing at all. The forecast is shifting and the fog is rolling in. So, I'm Paul, and this has been episode 2 of the Shifting Forecast. In the next episode, I'll be talking about what I've done to actually start this and techniques that I've been looking into, as well as what I find along the way listening to Atomic Habits by James Clear, as well as maybe touching on some of the things I'll be going into in the Evening Fog podcast as well. And with that, tatty bye, and I'll see you for the next one.